in this team and how I can, still contribute even though I'm not on the field.
You addressed criticism of some kind. Did you hear it, see it? Was it just perception of it about NIL and not being on the field? But you addressed that. You voiced that.
Well, I never. Criticism doesn't come to you directly when you're doing everything right. It's always speculation, from the back. So for me, it's not really that I was addressing criticism. For me, it was more trying to change the narrative. One thing I've always talked about is kind of controlling the narrative and controlling the light that I shine. So, being able to be who I am and kind of show people the way that I'm doing it and how I want to do it. I don't think anyone can really stop it. I just got to make sure that it's still, we're still keeping the main thing.
Sorry if you were asked this, but just going through the first half, now they don't play. What was it like that? And then what was it? How much energy do you feel like you had kind of caged up to unleash after halftime?
I don't feel like it was a lot of energy. I just knew that once my time came, I was going to have to step up and play. I tried to stay poised and really kind of, contribute to the team, but keep them level-headed because you never want to get too high or too low. So just being able to really get back out there at second half just kind of gave me that pep in my step back to that I'm really out here.
I guess it was a risk you could try to do too much.
Yeah.
So you were on guard against that,
to
stay in control?
Yeah, mentally. Yeah. When you're on the sideline and even when I did pregame warm-ups, you don't want to get too fluctuated. You don't want to get too hyped because then you crash and then you got to get back up mentally. So it was like just being able to stay level-headed and get in and just know the job that I had to do.
And then that length of a goal line stand, I mean, is that something you've experienced before on the football field, having to defend that many plays that backed up like that?
I think we probably did something like that Washington 2 years ago.
Yeah.
If I can remember at Washington, but just, I loved it. I mean, for me, it was just being out there and seeing everybody on their feet and just seeing the crowd really into it. It kind of gave me that surreal moment of like, wow, like this is really why we play, and being able to come back. And I wasn't even mad when they got the first down or whatever happened, but just being able to keep playing and knowing that whatever happens, we just got to fight to the end.
You talked about being a better leader. And Trevor, in my eyes, is a guy, with you out and other guys out, he's played a lot, he's done well. What have you seen from him, just his development?
I mean, he's done a lot better. Coming into this season, he didn't know if he was going to play a lot. So for me, it was just me and Mace Fuller just trying to keep his head in the game and keep a lot of guys' head in the game that no matter how the season starts, you never know. And it's always the next man up mentality. So just being ready and keep preparing like you are, about to start. And when his time came, he was able to make plays and do what he's done.
What do you feel like he's gotten better at?
Setting the edge, being more confident. One thing about playing football is you got to play with confidence to be able to really show your ability. So his confidence has really been up. His play recognition has went up, and then, the next steps for him is probably communicating, learning those in between the lines. But I think he's done a great job, and he's going to keep growing.
Heading into this UCLA game, Kayvon, obviously a team that likes to run the ball. Talk a little bit about your development as a run stuffer and what's going to be key for you guys to limit those backs.
Obviously, just stopping the run. Making the gap smaller. Our second end coming up and filling in holes and just being able to, keep them in the box.
You faced dual-threat quarterbacks before throughout your career. What does DTR bring to the table that might be a little bit different?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What does Dorian Thompson-Robinson bring to the field that may be a little bit different than even some of the mobile quarterbacks you've played before?
Their game plan. I feel like UCLA has a really unorthodox game plan, and I feel like they try to throw a lot at you to get your eyes in different places and, kind of make you feel like it's more complicated than it really is. So if we're able to just play with good eyes and good technique, we'll be able to, to work with it.
That being a lot of the multi-tight end and unbalanced.
Multi-tight end, unbalanced, the motions, the QB reads, the read options, just the different plays. They give him a lot of leeway to do what he does and to show his ability. So just being able to use good eyes and good feet and good hands is going to help us a lot.
Some of the things you were aspiring for are beyond reach because of the injury, because of limited time. How have you readjusted, recalibrated some of those personal goals for the season?
I feel like my goal has always been to be 1-0 and kind of win the day. So at the end of the day, I have to look at it as you can only control what you can. So just being able to keep going. And that's kind of the mantra I took into that second half, where it's like you only got a half, so you got to do what you can. So, now going into the rest of the season, I just got to make the best of every opportunity.
You're some of the sort of piece. Now, always. There are others who shoot for the Heisman as a defensive player. They could come off as angry right now that all the years to be heard, here's an opportunity that I missed. How are you able to maintain this unbelievable level of inner mental peace?
Because I feel like God has a plan for everyone. You know, so for me, maybe, you know, however you look at it, I've been blessed with full health. So, you know, at the end of the day, just being able to keep going through the season and keep competing with my team, I mean, there's no award or there's no accolade that can get me down. You know, as long as I'm healthy and I'm out there and being able to contribute to the win, that's all that really matters.
You guys were able to get that win over UCLA last year. You know, pretty crazy game. What do you think you're going to be able to take about what you learned from that offense into this matchup?
I feel like that game was a different game. Me personally, I don't really look at that team for what this team is because they got a lot of different players. But just fighting to the end. You know, it's going to be a dogfight. We're going to the Rose Bowl. It's a great team, great stadium, great coaching. You just got to really play and leave it all on the field.
Do you have any understanding of what you could have done differently on the targeting play?
I could have at the end of it, the force. It's all about force and motion. You know, it wasn't really my hands. I lead with my hands always, but when someone's on your back, and you just got to kind of stop your motion, and I left my feet. That's what kind of had me come down more and hit him in the head. But, you know, it happens. I just got to, you know, keep getting better and keep that technique and keep going.
We're good? Thanks, KJ.